I'm going to Coachman, pick up another park model. I had to choose whether or not I wanted to do park model or a 30-foot Salem that I had. But the Salem's going all the way up to La Crosse, and I got to be home at a decent time today. So I went ahead, and the park model is only going to Slinger, Wisconsin. So I can do that run, even being a park model. I can do that, fairly quickly. I filled up in Madison yesterday when I dropped off because I only had like around 35% fuel. I would have made it home, but I knew I was coming out here again, and the fuel is cheaper in Wisconsin. So someone had asked, I think I got it for $2.90 with my Open Roads fuel app. I could have probably got it for, I think it was like $2.88 further down the road, but then I would have had to get off the highway, and I was already by the fuel station and at the exit in Madison. So to me, it made more sense just to do that. I did really well deadheading home, and this morning back into Middlebury. There was like 264 miles that I deadheaded, and I wound up at like 19.8 miles per gallon, which was good because I definitely wasn't like trying to go extra slow or anything. Like when I deadhead, I go, honestly, I go above the speed limit by quite a bit, if I'm being completely honest. So obviously if I kept it at like 70 or whatever the speed limit is at the time, like I probably could have easily had that at like 21 on my deadhead. So I mentioned in some other videos, my truck loves this like warmer weather. Like right now it's like 63. I don't know how it's gonna do when it's like actually hot. I would venture to guess it's gonna be lower, but right now with this like springtime weather, it's loving it. That was hand calculated too, as far as like the mile per gallon, because my truck was only showing like, I want to say like 18.4 or 18.5 excuse me, and it was actually like 19.8 or closer to 19.9, somewhere in there, when I hand calculated it. So that was a little bit surprising, but good at the same time. It was like pouring rain this morning when I left my house, but here in Middlebury it's pretty nice weather. I'm not sure. I think it was supposed to stop raining this morning, so I think coming through Chicago and stuff, it should be pretty clear now. But yeah, I checked the wind, it wasn't bad. I think the gusts were like maximum 10 mile an hour, so that's not too bad. Yesterday, even with that park model, I ended up getting some 25 mile an hour gusts, and you definitely felt that. And my truck has like the lane keep assist and anti-sway and all that, and when a trailer starts to get swaying, like my truck definitely starts to yell at me. Like it thinks I'm swerving, so it'll tell me to like take a break with like an orange warning, and then if I keep doing it, it'll like start flashing red at me and take a break, shows like a coffee symbol. And then if the trailer actually starts to sway versus like the truck, once the trailer starts to sway, it'll start to apply the brakes for me, which I might have to look into turning that off. I don't know that that's really helpful. It might be hurting me more than it's helping me, but with that I was only able to do like 60 to 65 yesterday with the park model, condo unit, whatever they call it at Coachman. I think max speed was probably like 68 is all I got up to, but that was for short periods of time. So I'm kind of expecting, even though the wind's similar, I'm picking up the exact same trailer. I'll have to see how the weight compares, because I know they can differ quite a bit just by options and things like that. Hoping this one isn't any heavier, but yeah, so we'll see how it kind of works out. But I'm just about to Coachman. I decided to stop and top off my truck here in Middlebury. I had like 76% fuel left, so I even with a park model, I would have made it, into Wisconsin, probably no problem. But I kind of made that decision, even though I'm paying probably 25 cents a gallon more for fuel by filling up here in Middlebury. I decided to fill up without the trailer, because if I fill up with the trailer, being a park model, it's just to me, that's gonna be more difficult. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna be doing truck stops and stuff, but just getting on off the highway, all that, like, was gonna take longer, and I figured, I might as well just top off without a trailer on. Had it been a smaller trailer, I probably would have just waited until I got on the road and into Wisconsin to save that money. But one thing I also like, because I'm running, this is my personal truck and it's aluminum, I tape my magnets to my windows since they don't stick to this truck. So I had to stop and put them on. Coachman will not let you in through security without your tags. So I usually stop in their parking lot and throw them on, which, not that takes a lot of time, a couple minutes, but I figured, why waste time stopping there and then stopping for fuel? So while I'm filling up, I throw on my magnets while the truck's filling, so that I'm not wasting time. So I went ahead, did that while the truck was filling up, and then was ready to go as soon as it was full. So I ordered as far as like fuel conditioner, I wanted to mention that, because I was using like OptiLube, I think it was, and then I was using Standardine, which I really like those two, but they're a little bit more expensive, and using them on every single tank definitely gets costly. So I've been trying to do like every other tank, but with these park models, I threw it in there just because the truck's working a little harder. I don't know if it really makes a difference, but this time around I ordered the gray bottle Diesel Clean. If you know about Diesel Clean, the white bottle's for the winter months with the anti-gel in it, and then the gray bottle is just the fuel conditioner for the summer, warmer months, and the red bottle, the Diesel 901, is just to get you out of a pinch if you are gelled up, and it does work. I've had to use it before. I don't think, I wouldn't want to run that as any kind of like normal thing. I don't think it's probably good for the tank, or good for the truck, but it gets you out of a sticky situation if you have to be. But I was able to find the best price on Diesel Clean gray bottles on Amazon, individual use ones. So I put the whole bottle in. I think it covers like 60 gallons or something. My truck's 48, so I just throw the whole bottle in. It's still expensive. I want to say it was like $50 for 12 bottles, or $70, something like that. But so it's gonna get you through. If it was 12 bottles, 12 tanks. So, but if you're an RV transport, 12 tanks goes pretty quick. Like I filled up 3 times in the last 24 hours. So, because I filled up in Middlebury yesterday, hooked up to that trailer, filled up in Madison last night, and then I topped off again. So I guess I didn't go through like 3 full tanks. I went through probably like a tank and a half. But still, I mean, with this park model today, I'll go through probably another 3/4 of a tank just getting up to Slinger, Wisconsin, and then, about quarter tank home. So I'll go through another tank. Maybe less. I may, depending on how I'm doing on time, I may stop and fill up in Wisconsin, take advantage of the better fuel prices, especially going up towards Slinger. I'll be able to grab that one in southern Wisconsin that I like to go to. That's usually even cheaper. So if I'm doing good on time, I'll probably top off there. If not, I should have plenty of time to get home, or plenty of fuel to get home. So then I'll just either fill up in my town, or I'll fill up in Middlebury again next time I'm out here. So the only other issue I had yesterday, when you're when you're checking out the trailer out of Coachman, you have have to give back your paperwork that you sign, and then they give you the packet. With that park model being so wide, I got like super close to the building there. I had to readjust and try to get back out. This time around, with a normal trailer, it's not a big deal. You just really just pull in and pull out. But with these big, wide park models, tall, I was too close to the building. I didn't hit it or anything, but I had to be very careful getting out. So this time around, I'm going to make sure I give myself more room between the truck and the building, and the trailer and the building. So probably going to have a lot of the same issues I had yesterday with the trailer sinking into the ground, especially since it rained, and not being able to get on my hitch. I'm going to have to probably build it up. I'm really going to try to get in and out in 30 minutes. Yesterday was like 45, 50. That really sucks, but we'll see. I'm going to do what I can to get in and out in 30 and back on the road. But other than that, I'll show you what I got when I get it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Got this condo unit park model on. This one actually, it does weigh more than the one yesterday, I believe. I think the one yesterday was like dry weight 12.4 or 12.5. This one's like 12.9. So I think it does weigh about 500 pounds more than yesterday's unit. As of right now, the wind is less than yesterday, so I'm hoping to at least be able to hold that 65 with this thing, but I don't really know what's gonna happen. I got like 35 miles on 20 here before I get over to the highway, so I won't really know until I get up on the highway, because I think the max speed over here is gonna be 60 or so. But I had a different lot on this one, picking this one up, so I had a lot more room. With the last one, it was pretty tight up against some other units, and there wasn't a lot of room in front of me. It was where they keep a lot of the park models. This one was in their large lot. They call it like the Freedom Lot. Lot more space, and it actually wasn't sunk down into the ground, which was nice. So I don't think this one's been sitting there as long. Since even though it did rain, it was a little bit muddy. It didn't sink, so like I said, I don't think it had been there very long. I didn't have to do any messing around with wood or jacking it up, which was good because I didn't see any plywood or anything, in the parking lot. I'm sure I could have found something just moseying around, but it would have just been a waste of more time. It did take me slightly more than 30 minutes. I think it was, but like in between 30 and 35, so it wasn't terrible for the entire process. I think I got there Middlebury time like a little after 9:50, and it's 10:35 now, and I've been on the road for a few minutes, so like around 35 minutes probably took me start to finish at Coachman. Made sure I gave myself plenty of room getting out of there with the guard gate, so I was good. Had to really stretch out to get the paperwork, but it wasn't a big deal. I think they knew why I was doing what I was doing as far as being so far away from them. there was a guy that works there that was working on one of the park models next to me. They must have had some service work that needed to be done, and he, nice guy. He was mentioning how much he liked my truck and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. He's walking around it. It's always, obviously nice to hear, but yeah, got this unit. It's missing 2 of the sewage caps. There's 4 of them on this unit. 2 of them looked like they were cut off, like the string was there and they were just missing. So I don't know if it was a situation where someone was grabbing a unit that didn't have it and they just cut them off and took them. I didn't see them like laying on the ground or anything, so I don't think they just sheared off or fell off. So who knows? I marked it up on the paperwork, took my pictures, so that I don't get, charged for the sewer caps. But and then I just marked up that it was dirty. So I've been doing that. Anytime it is like even a little bit dirty, I've been marking that it's dirty, so that if there's a little dinger that gets missed or something because it's dirty, like the one I had, back in like January or whatever it was, where I picked it up and it was covered in snow and I couldn't really do a good inspection. And then after they washed it at the dealership, they found a ding on the front, and it was like, I didn't have to pay for it, but the dealership didn't want to pay for it. So I don't know who ended up paying for it, probably the manufacturer, but I've just been doing that to kind of cover myself. But it's a little bit, I chose to do the non-toll route. Like if I would have chose the toll route, I think I would have saved about 10 minutes is what it said, and likely would have been more than 10 minutes because of pulling this giant thing. But I think it saved me it said like $14, and that's assuming that I don't have a trailer on, so it probably saved me like at least twice that, like $30. So even if it adds 20 minutes or something, I think it was worth it. But I'd rather come down 20, even though they're doing some construction here. But I don't know, I'd just rather go this route. So I chose to go down this way and then jump on the highway in 35 miles or so. But it's a 250 miles. It says it's going to take like close to 4.5 hours. So honestly, going to be probably every bit of 5 hours pulling this thing. So basically the same as yesterday. Puts me, right now it's saying I'm going to get to Slinger at 2:20. So I mean, if I get there before 3 p.m., I think that's going to be a win on my part. I was trying to get there by 2, but it doesn't seem like it's going to, I'm definitely not going to get there by 2 if it's at 2:20. Or no, you know what, that would be 1:20, so maybe I will get there by 2, because I forgot about the time change. That would be really nice. If I can get there and get out by like 2:15, that would be awesome. But not holding my breath. We'll see what happens. Like I've said before, my dispatcher told me, like, you don't choose what speed you're pulling a park model. The park model chooses it for you, and it's been totally true. And that's pretty much true with like any trailer, but it's especially true when you're dealing with park models, because they're heavy. They're big, heavy bricks, and you don't want to push it. Like I've seen guys running 70 down the highway with this thing, one of these things, and the truck's moving all over the place, and it's not holding its lane and whatever. It's just not worth putting yourself or anybody else in a situation where there's a risk of accident or anything like that. So that's it for right now. I just wanted to do a quick video on this unit, and maybe I'll do one if I run into any weather or wind or anything like that. I dropped off that park model condo unit, whatever you want to call it, up in Slinger, Wisconsin. I ended up getting the same exact mile per gallon as I got yesterday, 9 miles a gallon, which I'm not going to complain about that. And I didn't hand calculate it, but when I hand calculated my deadhead earlier, it was off by like over a mile per gallon. I actually got like 1.3 or 1.4 miles per gallon better than my truck was saying. So it's possible that I actually got better fuel mileage than 9, but I'm just going to go with what the truck says at 9. It's usually pretty accurate. But like I said, I'm not going to complain. Pulling a park model, getting 9 miles a gallon. Would I have liked to have been pulling a 20-footer and getting 13 miles a gallon? For sure. But I got up there with 42% fuel left. I had filled up before I picked up the unit right in Middlebury there. So it was basically on full, other than the 5-mile drive or so to the Coachman from the gas station and then hooking it up. So I had 42% compared to, I think it was 35 yesterday when I got into Madison, which makes pretty much right on perfect sense because both days I got 9 miles a gallon exactly, with Madison being probably like 30 miles further. I used up like 5%, 6-7% more fuel, so it might be a little bit further, but whatever, it's pretty close. The math is working out pretty perfectly on those two. But the wind wasn't quite as bad today. It did kick up to about 17 mile per hour gusts when I got up into Wisconsin, but not as bad as yesterday where it was like 25 mile an hour gusts. Other than that, I had one situation that was a little bit, I call it sketchy. I don't know what you want to call it, but they're doing road construction. It's actually right by my house, on the highway there. It passes right through my town, and right outside Chicago. They're doing like road construction, and the highway kind of like transitions from the temporary highway to what the existing highway was, but it has like a big dip in the road. And I hit it yesterday, but I don't remember if I was in the same lane, and it might be worse depending on what lane you're in. But yesterday I definitely noticed it, so I was actually prepared for it today, but I hit that and the trailer got my truck all squirrely. Definitely not a comfortable situation. Got it under control, got it back, but definitely, I mean, I don't know if I was, in a dually, if that would have happened. It's hard to say, but it's just a really bad transition in the road. And even though I knew it was there, and that might have been what saved me, is just knowing it was there and I was prepared for it and I was able to correct it when it got out of hand. But, so maybe had I not been aware of it, it might have been a worse situation. But definitely got you paying attention and just got it, not an ideal situation, but it is what it is. I do have one load and I should be going tomorrow, but I'm not going to be getting as early of a start because I got to take my daughter to the doctor in the morning. So I think I'm probably not rolling out of my area till like 10:30 would be my guess, 11ish, and I have a lacrosse run, so I have to see if I need to be home at a specific time. If I don't, then I'm probably just going to run and just get home super late. That's really my only option. Otherwise, I'd have to bring the unit home with me. I think it's like a 30-footer, which would be fine. But Friday, I've got work within my business, and then Friday night, I got to be home with my girls. So I wouldn't be able to deliver on Friday, so that would put me delivering that unit on Saturday potentially, and then that would only be my third unit of the week, and then I'd have to decide if I want to do another one on Sunday or just call it 3 for the week. So if I can, I'll probably just go ahead and do the lacrosse and just tough it out and knock it out Thursday, as long as I don't have to be home at a specific time. But we'll see. I probably should have asked for another shorter run, something like another Slinger or Madison or something that, you know, I can get done in 10, 11 hours total. Because I think lacrosse with like pickup drop off, probably a 12 to 13 hour day, 11 hours driving. So if I leave at like 11, I'm be lucky to be home by 11 or midnight, which isn't the end of the world. Especially because I don't have to be up super early Friday morning, but I do want to get some work done within my business on Friday, so we'll see how it goes. I don't really have a plan yet, but I'll get it figured out as that gets, you know, as tomorrow kind of works out. But that's it. Hopefully I get a break from these park models for a little while, but they're not as bad as long as you kind of, I think 60 to 65 miles an hour is about all I can do with them. These conditions were about as good as they're gonna get. Like I said, a short period of time up in Wisconsin, the gusts got up to like 17, but for most of the ride, it was under 10 mile an hour wind gusts, so it's not going to get much better than that. And even with that, 65 was about the max I was comfortable towing that trailer. A couple times I probably was up around 68, 70, but it was for very short periods of time. I would say my average speed was probably closer to the 60 mile an hour mark, 61, 62. 65 was even pushing it a little at that point, you know. One of the biggest issues is the semi-trucks coming by. That just sucks that trailer in, and it's not a comfortable feeling. So if I can keep it around 60, I can kind of limit that draft or whatever you want to call it from the semi-trucks. But I was glad to get that trailer unhooked. Went through inspection just fine. It was missing those sewer caps. I marked that on the sheet at the pickup, and I emailed it to the inspector at the dealership so that I don't get charged for the sewage caps that were missing. Other than that, it was just a little bit dirty, and you know, it was fine. But that's it for now. Probably do another video with the next pickup.